Okay. Right.
Yeah, bro.
Question one.
Okay.
How much do you take it upon yourself to make sure that your audience laugh? That എത്രത്തോളം is your responsibility?
I think it has 100% right.
You don't അത് full
It
ആയിട്ട്
is.
എടുക്കണം.
Yeah, I mean, the job is to make people laugh, you know. So if you're like, how much? I'll be like 80%. If you put 100% effort only, they will laugh.
Yeah.
It is on the comedian only. You can't, like, there are comics who say the crowd was tough. That, you know, the crowd was not ready. But that's your job, man. You don't hear a doctor saying the patient was tough, you know.
Makes sense.
So it is, you have to do it. I agree, there is tough audience. I'm not saying that every time you fail it's your fault,
Yeah.
but the responsibility is yours only. 100% you have to take it. You
Right.
can't say, like, you know, audience-ന് മനസ്സിലാകാത്ത കൊണ്ടാണ് ചിരിക്കാത്തതെന്ന് is what they argue. Then അവർക്ക് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് മനസ്സിലാകാത്തത്? You're the reason.
Yeah.
മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന പോലെ ചെയ്തു കൊടുക്കണം. That's the requirement of the job. So
So when you approach comedy, how do you usually approach it? Is it something close to life type of comedy situations, or do you do more crowd work? Do you do more? What's your style?
I like crowd work also. I like crowd work. I like the materials too. I mean, it's all. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ crowd work ചെയ്താലും it will be that eventually after doing the crowd work, I will say one joke that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
You know, so even if people have a misconception that crowd work people are doing, comics do crowd work because there are no jokes.
Right.
Maybe some people it is the case that
Yeah.
they might have 30 minutes material, they will do 20 minutes crowd work and cover it up. But sometimes crowd work is also just to see what the crowd thinks, you know. Sometimes you do crowd work so you understand what they think,
Yeah.
and then it's a testing of a joke.
Right.
Then you say and they laugh, so you're like, okay, ഇവർക്ക് ഇത് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ട്, rather than you attempting to say the whole joke and there's a silent room where there is no connection. So crowd work angana, and jokes as such, like, I mean, whatever you find funny, bro, it's the whole job is that whatever I find funny, I have to make you find funny.
Yeah.
That's the job. So that link in between is the job. That, you know, I saw something and I thought, okay, this is, see, funny means what? You see some people doing stupid shit which is not seen as stupid shit,
Yeah.
because people have not realized it is a daily thing, and you have seen it. So now it is your job to make them realize that, dude, this is stupid, what the fuck, like that. So അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ലിങ്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കി എടുക്കലാണ് comedy. So I think I like both. I'm good. I like doing both.
Right.
It helps. Crowd work actually helps. It helps build, you know, like, because when you ask people, sometimes they will say something that you have not even thought of, you know, or they will just say something,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, correct only, no, like that. So then adu veche you will understand how to start the joke when you're doing it only as a joke,
Yeah.
so that it hits maximum people. It is a known fact that whole room will not be happy all the time.
Yeah.
There will be one or two people who are like, എനിക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടില്ല, നമുക്കൊന്നും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, but aim is that full room enjoys.
Right. Right.
So
How much? How much do you have to subtract ego? ഒരാളെ ചിരിപ്പിക്കാനുള്ള ആ ഒരു എഫർട്ടിൽ how much would you want to subtract your ego from it?
you can't make it. If you make it an ego fight, then you will lose. 100%. It's very easy for a person. If a person has to laugh, then they have to accept you.
Yeah.
Then only they will laugh. If they don't accept, you can't make, nobody in this world can make you laugh if you don't accept that guy. When you're saying ego, now if I'm like, no, I have to make a guy laugh,
Yeah.
then I need his participation also.
Yeah.
I can't make him laugh when he's like, you know, I will not laugh. Then I'm like, okay, the only thing I can do is, okay, I can't do anything. Subtract, I have to give up. I can't, I don't think any comic will take that job, first of all.
Yeah.
If the whole room is laughing and there is one guy who is not laughing,
Yeah.
and if he happens to be in the front row, people address it. People talk to him, they say why you're not laughing. There could be thousands of reasons. Maybe his friend bought him, he doesn't like to be there. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he came to know someone passed away. You don't know what happened. Maybe his stocks went down, he lost money, you don't know. So I don't work on ego, at least for me, because I know it's dangerous. I've seen people go down that path, and it will only lead to your destruction on stage. It will not, nothing happens to that guy, he's sitting in the audience. So the problem with that is that if you go and like pick on him too much, then he becomes the show becomes about him. That can't be the case. The show has to be about you and your story. He just, see, my best case scenario advice is just leave him. You have 100 people in the room, 99 people are laughing, that one guy is, just leave him, man. Should be happy 99 are laughing. So it means you are not wrong, it just means he didn't understand, he's not in that space to laugh. Or he just doesn't like you. 100,000 people can't like you, bro. There are obviously people who don't like, even there are people who don't like Gandhiji also. And whoever, like there are people who don't like Dalai Lama, there are Chinese. So we can't do anything. That's the case. You have to let ego go. I have seen comics, like a lot of comics who fight back with the audience, because the audience said something smart, and it was funnier. So the comic has to prove he is funnier, but no need. You don't have to. The whole show is about laughing. If they laughed, you just agree. Yeah, you should be like, funny, bro. Just if you end there, no, it's good for you. You go down that path. The major tendency of the crowd is to be with their people, which is the person in the crowd. Unless you are a very lovable comic who doesn't do anything, like you're a very pavam guy, and people feel that guy from the crowd is doing wrong, they will support you. Otherwise, general tendencies, they'll support the guy in the crowd, because he's the dark horse there, you understand? Like you're used to doing this, but he's not used to, and he's doing it, means so. It's a general human tendency. So best is not to go down that path.
Some people have heavily lean on self-destructive kind of comedy, right? അവരുടെ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് അതാവും. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള what about that journey? People who completely rely on that destroying of the self, or are willing to embarrass themselves to make people laugh. Is that അങ്ങനെ സെൽഫ് സബ്ട്രാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, does that always guarantee laughter?
No. See, self-destruction means I have, like, what do you mean by self? You mean people who make fun of themselves?
Like
that can't be self-destruction all the time. See, generally the thing is, if people are making, sometimes people make that, it's more like what do you say? I don't know how to explain this. It's like it's like he's making fun of that. He's not making fun of himself. Most of the times they're not making fun of themselves. They are making fun of the fact that they're being made fun of. That it just seems very stupid to do that. It's a 50-50. There are also people who say, my dad is like this, or I'm like this, I'm like that, and that's cool. That is probably they have people blow it. They think like, oh, maybe this guy actually has issues, or maybe he's just like trying to make you laugh. So it's hard to find out. But self-destructive jokes, I think, is where everyone starts generally, or they start from political jokes. But self-destructive, everyone does this. Like every comic has some kind of joke. Either he went in a cab, or he did this. So that's the. I don't think it's a big problem, but usually that's what people want to hear also sometimes. Because they're tired of all this news and political memes and everything. They just want to hear stories that are funny, that happened in your life, and just.
Is it still the first person who should laugh at the joke നമ്മൾ തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കണോ, അതോ should we imagine the crowd?
Can be anything. If you the thing is, if you enjoy the joke you do, the crowd will eventually laugh because
Yeah.
they can see that fun, you know.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of doing the same material repeatedly is so that you get used to doing it.
Yeah.
And you know, so if you're, there are some jokes that you will be really like, I love this, you know, I can't believe that I wrote this, or like that kind of jokes. Those jokes definitely, like, it's been done for the emotional value more than it'll be very funny. It'll be like that joke where they say and the whole room will go crazy, and but they're doing it because they know, like, the thing is, you know that, you know, in the next 10 seconds this room is going to erupt,
Yeah.
and and that is the satisfaction you have.
Right.
It's fun to get it. Generally, I don't think there is a, you laugh, like, you have to feel it's funny
Yeah.
to start. So the whole thing is that you have to laugh, or at least you have to be like that, you know, like what the fuck.
Yeah.
Then only there is sense in doing it. Otherwise, if you do it, then it is very commercialized, you know.
Yeah.
That you are just doing it because you have to sell tickets and people have to listen to you and you need something to say. No harm in doing it. Sometimes some people mix that with, you know, because life experience, there's a limitation to how much life you can experience, no?
Yeah.
To the requirement of the content. Like,
Yeah,
people want new content every 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, like that. So you can't run around the world experiencing stuff. So you have to pick up. Sometimes you pick up from, you know, I mean, at least in my case, I will imagine like what would happen if, you know, I went there, or if this happened to me,
Yeah.
and all that. And see, people, this is an art form with zero fact checks, and you don't need it.
Yeah.
It is very clear that it is, no, you should not believe anything that
Yeah.
is being said. It's pure entertainment.
Yeah.
You don't need disclaimer also. So you can make up stuff, but it should be, you should laugh first. If you ask me, you should laugh. At least you should feel like, you know. So if once you have done this long enough, you know, there's like every comic has, they say it's called finding your voice on stage, where he knows now that this is the part of me that they laugh for.
Yeah.
So if you notice, you can see that formula in the making,
Yeah.
if you have followed a comic long enough. But even if you know the formula, it will be funny. It has nothing to do with knowing the formula.
Yeah.
It's just that you like that person now.
Right.
They have got to like you. Comics at this stage are like, they understand that not everyone will react. You know, some people, and it is, it might be like a harassment sometimes, you know, for the audience, that,
Yeah.
you know, I have to react for him to stop. So because some people like to be quiet and they like to enjoy.
Yeah.
That's also one of the reasons why lights are off for the audience.
Yeah.
You know, they are kept in the dark. Only the artist is in the light, so that they are very comfortable. They are quiet, you know, and they are not, because when you put light, suddenly you feel like you're being watched. When they are in darkness, they're cool. They can shout out stuff, which is great, you know.
Yeah.
And so that way, no, we will not make that effort to get that reaction.
Yeah.
That will come eventually. And it's a very, like the whole 1 hour of a stand up, it's like it's from minute one there won't be laughter, you know. There is, so if you have gone to stand up shows, you'll know that there is an opening act.
Yeah.
Every comic has an opening act.
Yeah.
That is for multiple reasons. One is that obviously, you know, growing comics need space, and they need, you know, some to perform for a bigger crowd. So that is something that big comics, you know, allow them to do 10 minutes. So this is one of the small reasons that they give, you know, let him feel that
Yeah.
thing, you know, of performing for. The main reason is so that the crowd gets warmed, you know.
Yeah.
You can't immediately start laughing from moment one, you know. They
Yeah.
have to see a comic, he has to make them laugh, they have to get like something. Then the next comic comes. So then what happened, they have already been, a lot of topics have been spoken about, a lot of things have been told by the
Yeah.
opening act,
Yeah.
on which he can, even if he wants, sometimes they might not, but if he wants also, there are things to say, you know, before he starts his stuff.
Yeah.
He can come, he say, okay, give a round of applause for that guy, and then he will, oh, when he spoke about that, I came to know. So there is a continuation.
Yeah.
So it's a warm up, then leading to great laughter.
Mm.
So anganullappo it's a whole slow. It's like a machine that starts slowly. So they're trying forcefully to get a reaction. That's hard.
Mm. So in this subtraction project, one thing I asked all artists is like, എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഒരുമാതിരി എല്ലാ ആർട്ടിലും you don't really have to, or some art gives you the freedom not to worry about what other people think of it.
Correct.
Is comedy an art where അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സംഭവം ഒരിക്കലും we always have to think of what other people think? അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ആർട്ടാണോ കോമഡി?
അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ആർട്ട് ആവരുത്. The whole thing is that, see, this is one of the hardest live entertainment art forms, that stand up, because musician can sing song if he practices every day, for which he doesn't need an audience. He can sing song. Same thing with instrumentalists, same thing with anyone, except stand up means we need to know if it works. Otherwise there is no sense in calling 5,000 people into auditorium and saying random stuff. So what audience thinks of it, that we don't care. If someone's saying, oh, this joke is not that great, and I was like, yeah, there are 5,000 other people who laughed. So I agree. I'm not saying, hey, you don't know, not like that. For you it might not be great, man. But if you generally ask comics, what do you have in your mind what people think about this joke? No, that we don't have. If it's see, the thing is, if out of 5,000, if even 500 people laugh and other 4,500 have not laughed, the takeaway is that I have to work something to make the other 4,500 also laugh. But I will not, it's not affecting me that, what are they thinking about this joke? You understood? Like,
ഒരു രീതിയിലും your art need not orient towards the reaction.
Correct.
You just have to enjoy it.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Right.
See, the whole ease-in process that I explained is just so that people get. So a lot of people who come, especially in Kerala, like to Spotlight, they're first timers.
Okay.
Means they have never gone to a stand-up comedy show, or they have just seen, or it'll be like one friend who's come here, and he or she, they bring 3-4 other friends with them. So they are so what people see online is a lot of it's just like you see skydiving in YouTube, but when you stand there it's a whole different feel. So that's so when they come here they don't know what to expect. It could be anything, maybe they are seeing maybe comics do crowd work, or they're seeing something else happen, and they are kind of like, oh shit, will the comic talk to me? That is one thing we get a lot. Will the comic talk to me? We are like, I don't know, if he wants to talk, he'll talk, and and you talk, there's no problem in that. Nothing is going to happen, and so that has to come. So the thing is that ease-in is required. So when you say like that was the question you asked, right? That can you just ask?
It's about എന്തെങ്കിലും രീതിയിൽ അവരുടെ laughing അതിനേക്ക് ഓറിയന്റ് ചെയ്ത് നമ്മൾ എഴുതുക പെർഫോമിംഗ്.
No, correct, orienting. No, we don't. We make to, so what we do, the crowd work, that's when the crowd work works, when we ask questions to people. Like let's say if I'm going to talk about anything, like let's say roads in India. Okay, so then I will ask someone in the crowd, like, so what car do you have? How is it going? Is it good? Do you like driving on the roads here? So they will say something. Maybe they are like, these roads are great. So I'm like, really? And I was like, but where I have been going, these roads are not great. So angane padakke you make a conversation. That's all you can do. And orient means there are a lot of comics orient, but it's the problem is then if you try to orient, let's say, to one group of people, then the other group of people won't laugh. So it doesn't make sense for you to, there's nothing, you can't orient.
That's a good point.
So it is like trying to, like, let's say in a room there are okay, for example, let's say political joke. Okay, let's say there are 10 communist supporters and 10 BJP supporters and 10 Congress supporters. Now whom should I orient to what?
Yeah.
You know. So at that point, best thing for me is to not do that only. You know, do something else that all of them have to forget that part,
Yeah.
and they have to be united to know this joke. And that's the only way you can do it. If you're doing a joke, like you said, if you're doing a joke, 1,000 people laugh, 5,000 people didn't laugh, then you try to find a way to make those 5,000 laugh. You think why they didn't laugh? Is this the reason? There should be no reason. The main reason being it is not that funny, or they didn't understand that joke.
Yeah.
So you try to reiterate it in a way that they understand. Still, if it's not working, then it just means that people are not getting that joke, or at least those kind of people. Like, for example, if we say, my father said like this, then a lot of people who are parents, they won't understand that joke.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, yeah, it's, you know, you can make it funny to a point, to where, you know, people say this.
Yeah.
But then as parent, you will feel, yeah, right. Like what 20-year-olds find funny, I don't find funny now. Because I'm like, yeah, it's right, man. You're being stupid. But at 20, I found that funny. So it's a hard thing. You can only find middle ground.
Yeah. What about exaggeration? Is it a mandate for comedy?
I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's not required. You
Yeah.
can, but exaggeration is what they're doing, na?
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's not always. It could also be observation. You know, and but exaggeration is people like if it's done very nicely,
Yeah.
they love it.
Yeah.
Because that is, you know, it's very funny. And I think exaggeration is the basis of all in movies also.
Yeah,
If
it
you
is.
see, it is great.
Yeah.
It's done correctly. Otherwise, people like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, this is too much more. What do you say? The whole basis of everything in the end is that they'll accept you. That's all.
Yeah.
If people are like, this guy is good, I'll watch, they'll watch.
Yeah.
No, then if they don't like, for example, there are really good comics who have had bad names and people don't like them,
Yeah.
but they're very funny. Then people have to, that is acceptance. After that, there's not art. Art is just step one, where people have to agree, okay, this guy is good, but is this guy likable?
Yeah.
You know, then only you take off.
Do you have to orient towards likability or accent?
You don't have to orient. You'll see. In the end, it's about who you are. Are you a person? You don't. If you orient towards likability, then it is again fake. You know,
Yeah.
because then you're acting likable. It will hold up for a long time until people find out. You know, something you will slip somewhere because it's not your nature to be likable. But yeah, people, all actors, they're very nice. Maybe they're not that nice people, you know,
Yeah.
off screen or whatever. So obviously, but that's not. I mean, you genuinely as a person, if you're fun and likable, this art form is great for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, everyone has a bad side.
Yeah.
You know, there will be some people you don't like. You're not in the mood, or some shit happens. So being likable by everyone, impossible.
Yeah. Vulnerability. That's subtract, you know, you're a comedian.
Vulnerable to.
Feedback, like it's the most, you are the most vulnerable when you are performing.
Yeah.
Everybody is like waiting
Yeah,
for
that
you.
is instant feedback.
So,
that if it works.
avada, do you really have to subtract, for example, sensitivity? Do you have to subtract that? അവർക്ക് അത് കിട്ടിയില്ല അപ്പോൾ യു കോൺസ്റ്റന്റ്ലി തിങ്കിങ് ഓക്കെ നീ ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ഇതിലേക്ക് എത്താണ്ടിരിക്കാൻ ടു ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻ ടു ദ ഫ്ലോ ഡു യു ഹാവ് ടു സബ്ട്രാക്ട് സം സെൻസിറ്റിവിറ്റി ഓർ the vulnerable side of you?
Sometimes yes, you will have to see. Sometimes that doesn't happen in your own shows.
Okay.
But if you are going for private shows or corporate shows, people will not react because they are not used to this kind of things, you know. Especially Indians, like Indian functions, എല്ലാവരും ഉണ്ടാവും, അപ്പൂപ്പൻ ഉണ്ടാവും, അമ്മായിമാർ ഉണ്ടാവും, kids will be there,
Yeah.
cousins will be there. So ഈ മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ മാത്രമേ ചിരിക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. The people who don't understand, which is the majority,
Yeah.
okay, in this case, there you have to, you can't be like, you know, you're chirikinillalo, like that. you have to do something. Adina, it's a whole different preparation. You can crowd work, you can talk to them and make them laugh. It's not a big deal. It's just that they don't understand what stand up is. If you start talking to them, they are good. They'll talk and they'll be like, all that happens. So, yes, you have to tone down a little bit being affected by it. Because that is the whole thing that that's what you learn. The first stages of doing comedy in open mics is that you don't care. You can see that as the artist is doing for a year, for 2 years, he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care if completely don't care, then no use. You have to understand that, so let's say 10 shows he did, 9 shows people laughed for this joke, 10th show he didn't laugh. Then you have to introspect. You can't show it on stage because it is very, people understand. Like they get it. Oh shit! Okay, this guy is losing it. Like that. So people they just don't say it, but they understand. So you have to obviously go back and introspect, like why this happened, and then you have to come back. There is no. A lot of people are like, Allah, I'm like, how you will decide, bro? You did like 5 minutes one time. If you want to keep doing, then you have to learn. You'll learn a lot of things. Like, subtraction or you have to. The sensitivity has to be toned down. You can't be put off by things that people say. Or you can't have, like, people like to do that sometimes. Not here at least, because here people are still, they don't heckle much, they just say funny shit. They don't, try to put you off. But there are people who like to do that, they try to get an opinion out of you or like that. So in the situation, you have to be ready to face it, like calm, composed, try your best to not fall for that. So when you say vulnerability, you have to not be vulnerable. You have to protect yourself from that. It is very important. And like, for example, feedback. What you said, that also matters. See, some people give you feedback just to fuck around with you. So you should have the brains to understand if this is a genuine feedback or if this is not a genuine feedback. There are a lot of, if you go in crowded cities, it's already like a very corporate-ish life there. For comedians also, the industry is too big. So there's politics, there's a lot of things. So a lot of comics, like if you're doing good, they might be like, it didn't happen. They try to play around. See, falling for that, I feel very stupid. Because if it's funny, and even here when we do mics, a lot of comics come and ask, the first like new comics, they ask, and I was like, I don't give feedback. I'm like, did you hear laughter? And they were like, no. I was like, then you have to work till you hear laughter. What more feedback you want from laughter? Obviously, I know what they're asking. They're asking how to become better. But they have to find out. It is so. The whole thing about this art form is that if I tell you how to become funny, which even I don't know, I just feel I'm funny. I write my shit and I do. There is people. The biggest problem that people do is they go online and they will find there are books like 100 ways to write jokes, 10 different formats of joke writing. And see, just because someone came here saying he did a course in comedy. And I was like, how does that help? You can't show a certificate on stage when people are not laughing. So it is a completely, you can't study. Just so in case you're putting this out, so people know. These courses that they're offering, it is not for beginners. Okay, that course is not for beginners. That course is probably for people who have been doing it for 5 to 10 years, who know how to be funny. They just need more speed making the content. So they see these formats by which then they know, okay, this is where I can apply this formula. It is, what do you say, it is like buying parts for a car. The problem is, if you look too closely, everything has a problem, man.
Exactly.
You can, if you want to find mistake in something, you can find mistake in it. That is the greatness about mistake.
Yeah.
But is that a mistake that you have to avoid? Is the question. Has it made that damage? It is like for example, you said that they are introspecting, whatever I call it, introspecting. You have to only introspect. You can't give feedback on oh, this joke. See, a joke depends on, like for example, I had done a joke in Bangalore where it's about how kundi for North Indians is lock, but for Malayalis it's like our pump.
Yeah.
Okay, so I say like I found out when my roommate in college, he was a North Indian, so he was like darwaza band karke kundi dalo, like that. So kundi, so in that he tells, so I say no and all that, it goes like that, and I say like chor kundi nahi dalega to chor aayega. That's what he says.
Yeah.
So then people were like, oh my god, you should have, chor is also a Malayalam word. I'm like, yeah, but the thing is that I can't, everything can't be about that. Nah? You understood? So they were like, chor is a Malayalam word, you didn't use that saying it's rice. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't help me with the joke. So, but even if I used it or I didn't use it, people have laughed. And the problem is that whole room was North Indians. And we were focused on the kundi part. Okay, what is the use of putting chor also in there? And it doesn't, so that kind of, the thing is at that point when you're, let's say for example, if you're seeing a shot of a comic and you are saying feedback, for learning it is good. Means we do that. I tell comics that go to your favorite comedian's page and you break down that joke. Break down his joke. Say this is why he said here. Then you say, what will you say if you were in his place? That is a good way to learn. But you can't send that to him. He doesn't care. And in the end, whenever people come and say, how can I be funny? The whole thing is that just have to be funny. There is no secret to it. I consider any art form, for example, even if music or movie or anything, it is a vibe exchange. മുറിച്ച് പഠിച്ചു വന്ന പ്രശ്നം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാല് there will be a lot of what do you say writer's block. Because you're very mechanical. The മുറിച്ച് പഠിച്ചു വന്ന, it is good to understand what they're doing, but there is a limitation to what you'll understand also. Like there could be a lot of parameters, like even that comic himself will not be able to tell you what happened that day. So the whole thing is that murichu padikkunna is good, but what you need to be careful is that you don't end up following that style to start with. And you because that's one thing people follow a lot, and it's very, if a comic is very famous and it's very easy to recognize the style somewhere else. So that style they have to be careful that they don't follow. A lot of people try to copy because they think this is working, that's why he's viral. No, even he doesn't know why he's viral. You ask viral people, they don't know.
Exactly.
It is just that they became viral, and now and once you're viral, you have to make money out of it. Otherwise, you will be a fool. So then you won't get another chance. So, but as an art, I think you should try to be true to the art as much as possible, so that you don't, you write, you don't copy, you write, you have, people have enough life experiences that they can write about it. It's just that they are not searching within their own memories. So I'm 100% sure everyone goes through, they're just not attentive.
Is there something that a comedian has to actually subtract to do a personally satisfying job doing it?
You mean like not do something so he can do it?
We said that ego is one thing that we talked about. We talked about vulnerability, we talked about orienting, even now we talked about structure. So right now I'm wondering, so it's so free flowing that you may not actually need to subtract anything, or is everything subtracted? How would you look at it?
So you have to subtract overthinking to start with. I think not overthinking, like I told you, over evaluating, The thing is, it is a mix of many things. The first thing that a comic needs is that he should be confident about his own joke. If he's not confident about his own joke, then it will not go well with anyone. It will not. It could be the best joke in the world, but if it's not delivered correctly, to deliver correctly, you need the confidence. And if you don't have that, so it should be. I can't explain in terms of subtracting, but it should be more like, just. It should be a fuck it attitude, but not like, but not that also. It should be, you should know when to say, okay, fuck this, it's not going to affect me, and okay, I need to, it's like a balance. Because if you are, let's say you're coming in an open mic and you're trying a new joke, or let's say you're trying a joke, it could be new, old, anything, and if it's not working, and then you go back and you think too much, like, oh no, this, I put this here, then I will put this here. And for what? People will not put that much effort, okay? Half the time people either want to come like drunk, and they want to have a good time, that's all. They want to have a good time. You can say this should not be taken into the career, but you can say really stupid shit like WhatsApp forwards in a nice way, and they will laugh. Okay, the base formula for comedy is only that twist. You say this, you say that. That's a test. Okay, in our story, our life story, we include that twist. People are more than happy to listen. The problem is that the journey from your first mic to that twist is kind of a long journey. Because that is it's not a mechanical twist you can do. It's not that formula like, oh, it has to be embedded inside you, that this is how you do. And sometimes obviously there is action, there's reaction, all that. So there is obviously subtraction is there, because it is just because you have put everything doesn't mean it's perfect. Perfection is when, so subtraction for the matter of fact, I think this is an art form with maximum subtraction in writing, at least, because the whole formula is that it has to be very quick. The journey to set up to punchline should be as short as possible, so that they can, it's like tash, it's like one-liners to start with, that is there, but that doesn't mean you don't tell the story. People mistake that for the setup. That is not the setup, that is the story. You're telling the story, and then you have a setup, and then you immediately drop the punchline. You don't do anything else, and it works. So that you have to make it crisp.
That has to be there.
Yes, it has to be there. You have to, the work is not just done on stage. On stage is only maybe, 30-40% work. The remaining 50-60% work is being done at home or outside, anywhere. In your mind, in your work, you write, you have to research. Sometimes you have to research if you don't know about the subject. It is always best you don't research. Why, I will explain to you, is because if you research too much on a subject, you will know more than what the audience knows. And sometimes it is not great because they don't know it. So what happens is, if they don't know it, how will they laugh for it? Then you will have to spend your time explaining it to them.
That's right.
So so if you research too much, or the thing is the whole show has to be about that. So then you have enough time to tell them. Because there have been a lot of moments when you say something and you think like these guys might know, but they don't know. They don't know what is happening somewhere, or a lot of people don't watch news, they don't care, they're carrying on with their life, work and all. So, you ask them, oh, you have not seen this reel. They're like, no, we don't even know what it is about. So, you're like, oh my god, then. So, all that research now gone to waste. So, sometimes, it's always, if you don't know, like for example, someone has paid you to write for something, then you can research. Maybe about HR Day or Women's Day and all that. That people are aware about Women's Day and women. So you can do whatever. But let's say something else, or maybe coconuts. and you don't know many things about coconuts. There could be, whole research by agricultural department which you don't know. Or like, so angante കാര്യങ്ങള് it's best not to research too much, because what will happen is even you won't be, it's just because you know so much doesn't mean you can make that into a joke. With what you know, if you can make a joke, it's great. Then you research just to find out if I can link it to something else or some stuff like that, or some stories, okay. But scientific research, doing Google research and all.
Now that you said it, it's almost very true. I think somebody who knows too much about something never actually tries to be funny about it. Is that a pattern you have observed?
Yeah, see, that is a whole different thing. If someone knows something too much about something, that means they are invested in that. They have some other purpose for knowing it. It is not that, or let's say, for example, someone knows, let's say, for example, religion. Okay. If they know too much, okay, then they will not find religious jokes funny. Or even politics, for that matter, if they're too invested in knowing, okay, this is what Congress does, this is what BJP does, then they are taking it very seriously. That is why they know that much. About that time, we can't do anything about it. So same thing, if a comic is doing too much research, then it's not always applicable. There are smart guys. Most of them are smart, that's why they do comedy. But I'm just saying this for beginners, that if they do too much work without knowing, then it is, you do research, if you do a lot of research but you know what to say in that, it's fine. Then your research is not a problem, you have just done it. But otherwise, if you know too much, then it's always good to not know a lot.
So would it be right to say you have to subtract taking things seriously, too seriously?
Yeah, you can't take anything seriously, bro. What is so people say you have to take life seriously, and do what? That's the, like, and so you can't take anything in life seriously, even if it's a tragedy. That is what, for years, that if you see the plays and the movies and everything that is written, that you can't take, it's what will you take seriously? You take seriously and do what? Okay, you are poor now, okay, I'm just giving example, like, okay, what will you do taking it seriously? Nothing. You still have to get up, you still have to live, whether you are poor or rich, or whether you're a soldier or you're a IT employee or whoever. So if you take it too seriously, what happens is that then what happens is, then result has to be there if you're taking it too seriously. And if the result is not exactly that you expect, then this is going to affect you, because you have given it too much importance. So it doesn't make sense in making it too serious. Yes, you have to be result oriented, but you should also be ready that if the result doesn't come, it's okay. So then, okay, otherwise, that's when a lot of people have, like, and I'm not a therapist, but I'm just guessing that if you take it too seriously, like I had a lot of colleagues who are like very seriously, I want to become the manager, then I want to become the CEO. But see, it is not a straightforward way. Which company agrees that if you work this much, we'll make you manager? They don't know. Sometimes the guy who works shittier than you gets promoted. What will you do then? So you can't take anything seriously unless you have to help someone, and you can do some things are serious. People don't understand the difference. You're serious, yeah. This is not the time to laugh. That I understand. But taking life like, oh my god, like there are a lot of kids who are very tense to like get into IIT. Arey, so what, man? You can get into NIT. There are other colleges that are good. It's not like, if you think you are worthy of being an IITian, you can study in another college and be that good also. No one's stopping you. Knowledge is not, now it's available for everyone. But just because thinking that my life ended because I didn't get into this college or and get to this job, that's when the problem starts.